All right, here we go, guys. Just got done recording UFC 300 breakdown and statistics with Jackson, of course. This card didn't look like much on the outside, but once we started breaking it down and Jackson and I started sharing our statistics, it's all about the matchmaking this week. I mean, some of these fights are just really tough to call, and I think Dana White kept in mind, man, what am I going to do for 300? Would I rather people buy into the hype, or would I rather people just see some really good fights? And I think we're really going to see some good fights this weekend. As always, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you agree or disagree with any of these picks, let us know down below. Other than that, enjoy and oops.
I think the podcast is fucking sick. If you're listening to it and you're like, I don't know if I want to listen to the next episode of this podcast, you're probably a bitch ass. You need to listen to the next episode of this podcast and keep listening to it. Because my friends down here are trying to make shit happen. And we're going to make some shit happen.
All right.
Yeah, get a couple coughs out, clear your throat, sip some water.
My dumb ass just ate peanut butter.
Oh, man, you are screwing yourself there, buddy.
I want to sound clogged up for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Mistake.
Hell yeah, brother.
So, Jackson.
Hello, Kevin.
UFC 300, dude.
Big one.
Have you done your homework?
A little bit. Did some cramming just now before we started recording.
Dude, you like last night when you're like, "Hey, man, tonight's not a good night." I was like, "Dude, I'm completely fine because I'm thinking I need more time to research."
Real.
As I'm like, every time I look at it, I'm like, I could learn a little bit more about this person. I could learn a little bit more about this person, but this is going to be a big stacked. I gotta admit, I wasn't too like excited about UFC 300, but like as I'm kind of looking through things, I do think it's a good card.
So do I. I was thinking the exact same thing today. I was re-looking at all the matchups, and I was like, this might not be the best main event for a 300. But
Right.
The rest of the card is just there's not a fighter on this card that you can't recognize by name.
Yeah, I was kind of that was like I was expecting. I think I gave myself too high of expectations because like 200 was good. Actually 100 was solid. I remember how much hype there was after 100 because then they started selling the 100 knockouts DVDs and the 100 matchup DVDs. But dude, the card is really good. It's, to be honest, to me, in my opinion, which doesn't really matter, but there's a lot of weird names that like when you think UFC, yeah, they're good names and these are good fighters.
Right.
A lot of names where you're like I was expecting like Conor McGregor versus what's his face,
Chandler.
yeah, like something like that as like a headliner, or even like bring back Nate Diaz versus McGregor. Like I was expecting sort of McGregor news, especially how much they've been putting him on ice.
Right.
But I think we're in. I think fight fans are in for a good card. I think it's in for a good night. If you like fighting and you like the sport, I think this is going to be a really good card.
That's a really I mean, you said it there, 100%.
If
fight fans can't be disappointed with this card, I don't think so at all.
I'm looking forward to dude, the Cody Garbrandt, the Gaethje and Holloway fight is very interesting to me. The Jamal Hill and Pereira, I would watch that fight on any given night, but like it's not like to me like, all right, this screams 300 to me. I don't know. Oliveira is actually, oh, he is the favorite. Okay, I read that wrong. I'm like, Oliveira is actually the underdog on this, which makes it more interesting.
Right.
But with all that being said, man, let's just get into the first fight of the night because this is one of the ones that like I'm like, I don't know if it's an honor to be the very first fight of UFC 300. You know what I mean?
Right. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because normally you'd be like, okay, you're the first early prelim. That's a nobody. Like, not necessarily nobody, but that's like not like a name, a draw. That's like a come up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they gave it to Garbrandt and Figueiredo as like a, hey man, you guys get the night started. Let's get butts and seats early. Let's make this event a long one.
Right.
But I'm super excited for it, bro. I'm a Garbrandt fan, and I just like I like to root for the guy, and I don't know. I get invested in all of his fights.
Nice. I like him too. he always goes out there and is leaving it all in a cage, and he's great on the ground. He's great on his feet. Um, he's a phenomenal fighter. And going up against Figueiredo in the first match of the evening, like you said, an honor kind of for the first match of the night at 300, right? They gotta put something on that's gonna make people keep watching the TV, right? Because I think some of this is being broadcasted on just ESPN standard channel
Yeah, I mean,
before it goes to pay per view.
I'm looking it up right now. Oh yeah, early prelims is a UFC Fight Pass, and then you got the prelims are on ESPN.
Right.
So the early prelims are on Fight Pass.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Which honestly, I think, and I mean, I'm gonna go controversial here, dude. I think the early prelim card is like fight for fight wise, one of the best part of the whole card. Now, I think the whole card's worth watching, but I'm crazy. But I'm looking at these matchups, bro, and like you got fucking Bobby Green versus Jim Miller.
I know, right? Jim Miller fought at all of the Centennial cards. He
Yeah.
fought at UFC 100. He fought at UFC 200. And now he's scheduled to fight this upcoming Saturday. So
Super cool. Then like even the header, the Jalen Turner, and I know how good I am at names, but
Renato Moicano. I love
yeah,
that guy.
that guy, they are both like fun fighters to watch, and they both fight, bro.
Yes.
And they could both turn it off at any moment. I mean that right there, just this early prelim, Jessica Andrade, also always coming forward, heavy-handed. Marina Rodriguez. I mean, dude, I'm excited just for the early prelim. I'm kind of over in our time. It starts at 6,
Right.
and that's kind of too early.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Shit, I got to be home on Saturday at 6 o'clock and ignore my family until 1 in the morning.
It's probably gonna be later because this main card has 6 fights on it, right? Or no, just five, just five.
1, 2, 3,
But
4.
yeah.
Anyway, who do you have for Cody Garbrandt? I mean, he's the favorite. He's fighting Figueiredo, who you can never count out.
Right. And this is Figueiredo's first fight going up a weight class.
Oh yeah, that's right. So he might be a little bit healthier, a little bit more energy to him.
Yeah, we'll see how that looks. I mean, I think Garbrandt hasn't had a fight in a minute though.
He just
Did he?
I believe so. You're the Jamie on this. You always.
know. I got it pulled up right now.
He's actually been exciting again. So look, I'm looking December 16th. Oh, I guess it was all the way in December 16th. Time flies, bro.
Yeah.
And then he had a unanimous decision in March 4th of 2023, and then he just won by KO TKO against was it Brian Keller? Yeah, Brian Keller.
Yes.
In December 16th. He had a two fight lose streak. I think this is kind of like the thing with him now is like everyone's wondering, is he back? Is Cody Garbrandt back? Or, is he just going to be one of those back and forth type of guys? Win, loss, win, loss.
Right.
Figueiredo is a really good way to gauge that. I'm just going to say I think Cody Garbrandt is going to win it. I think he's going to I've been watching him. I like actually kind of he's one of the few fighters that I actually like follow. And it looks like he's been working his stand up to getting crispy. I wish he would post more of his wrestling just so I could feel more confident.
Fair.
But yeah, I mean, with how good of a wrestler he is and how like often he doesn't use it, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You think he'd be like a huge ground and pounder, but I'm leaning with Garbrandt on this. I just think he's on the up and up. Sounds like he's got his mind right, and I'm just going with fanboy here.
I like the pick. I don't think I can disagree. To be honest with you, I think I'm going to go Garbrandt. I don't want to count out Figueiredo though, especially like how good he looks again. Like when he's in like tip top shape, like he can go toe to toe with anybody. He showed that with Moreno a couple times. He's shown that with against anybody he's gone with. So him going up a weight class is gonna be interesting to see. We'll see if he uses the new size to play a little different, or if he's just gonna keep his same style. Who knows?
And the other thing I want to add to that too is I feel like Garbrandt's like a real emotional fighter. I think he's kind of proven that he and I think he even said it on the Rogan podcast that he's kind of had like it where he gets emotionally involved, and he kind of learned like with TJ Dillashaw. that didn't help him. But I think he is just kind of deep down like a mental, like one of the mental guys. Like when he's good, he's good. When he's mentally struggling, he's mentally struggling. But he chose this fight. He called out. He said he wanted this fight, and to
Right.
me, with him being kind of a mental fighter, and when his head's in the game, his head's in the game, and he seems to do very well. I'm just kind of that also helps me kind of lean just because the mental edge and because his mentality is there.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say Figueiredo's isn't, because again he accepted the fight, but I just feel like when Cody Garbrandt is on, I mean, dude, he's an exciting dude to watch.
I'm with you there. Cody Garbrandt's my pick as well. So I think that sums up that fight. First one of the night.
Right.
Only 20 more to go.
Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah.
Um, dude, rolling into the next one too. I mean, fuck, Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. And look at how many fights these guys have had.
I
If you add up their fights, it's insane.
It's almost it's near 100 fights. Near what's that? Like 90 plus fights. Yeah.
Between the two of them, man. And I watched a documentary on Jim Miller, and he's just an amazing athlete. Not a lot of people get to have that many fights in their career and perform as well as he has in his career. Also, with freaking Lyme disease and shit that he had to deal with, he's a tough ass dude, man. Um, Bobby Green, super flashy. I never know what to think with him because I'm always nervous watching him.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I get that.
Like he's fun to watch, but you're always like, God, that guy just looks like he's always just barely escaping like death. You know what I mean?
Yes. He does have those, like skin of the teeth wins. Even when he's getting finishes, like it's just kind of like out of nowhere.
Yeah, 100%. And to be honest, this is how the night's gonna be. It's gonna be tough to call. I want to say Jim Miller wins it, and it's a storybook ending. I think he's won his last 6 out of 7. He's only lost one in his last 7 fights, something like that.
Yeah.
So he's winning, and he likes to go for finishes. Like he does not like to be a decision type of dude. So he'll stay aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bobby Green,
He's a submission artist, which is really, really good to see that somebody that skilled with that many fights is still playing the submission game.
right? Yeah, and to be honest, that's kind of where I see it going. I kind of see, a little bit of stand up, a little bit of each guy catching each other, and then I kind of see um, Miller being able to get it to the ground and just beat Bobby Green on the ground. I think I'm gonna go with my bold prediction already and just say it's gonna be Jim Miller with a submission.
Okay, I like that. I would love to see that too. I think that's a great pick. I'm not gonna waste my bold pick so early on, but I mean this is a big card, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe we get 2 bold picks this time around.
Let him run, bro. Let
Yeah,
him.
but I like that a lot. I like the pick on the submission for Jim Miller. I think that I see it going that way as well. I don't want to make the claim that he gets a submission win, just because Bobby Green's just the guy that's gonna. Oh, I'm not tapping. I'm not tapping.
Right.
Like he's gonna fight, and especially in UFC 300, biggest fight, biggest card. I want to say probably ever, but it's huge, and they're making it huge, and he wants to put on a show. I don't think he's gonna give up like that. So
Yeah. Not that I don't see him giving up because I know he's tough, but man, like I don't know. I just feel like Jim Miller can take a punch,
oh
and
yeah,
I feel like that's Bobby Green's hope is for a TKO.
right,
He could definitely get it. We all, it wouldn't be a good fight if we didn't think he could get it.
true.
But that's just where my eyes lie. Are you going with Jim Miller?
I am going with Jim Miller as well. The other thing you said that I had in my little script that I take notes with is storybook ending. I want him to get that 300 win. I think it's just really sick that if he got the 300 win, he won at 200, he won at 100. Let's see him win at 300.
Yeah, just back like
15 years later.
we have to appreciate he came off his last fight already looking forward to getting to 300.
Yep.
And so it's just yeah, it gets you invested in that storybook. I mean, do you think he retires if he wins,
It's hard to say.
or is that guy until he can't go no more?
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? He might die out there. He might be fighting until he's dead. But
Not
hey,
a bad.
it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see. If he does decide to retire, there's no better place for him to do it, especially if he gets a submission win over Bobby Green.
Yeah, for sure. All right, first ladies fight of the night.
Marina
each,
Rodriguez.
each part of this card has one girl fight.
Yes.
We got Andrade versus Rodriguez. I'm just gonna. Whoa, they're both. My screen says they're both -110. How's that work?
Hmm.
And then this screen says Marina is also the favorite. So I don't know. I think Andrade is such a good fighter. She's like a little pit bull. I can never really bet against her.
Right.
They're like if you look at if you go through and look at their stats, I mean Andrade's average fight time is 9 minutes. Hers is 14 minutes. Rodriguez's is 14
Okay.
minutes. Their significant strikes are they're almost identical. Like Andrade averages 6.6 significant strikes a minute. Rodriguez averages 4.7, 50%, 48%. I mean, absorbed per minute. Andrade looks like she absorbs maybe about twice as much per minute, but everything is like super identical with these two. It's no wonder why the odds are so close. I gotta do my research here, but I think Andrade is coming off of a win or a loss.
She's coming off a win against Mackenzie Dern.
That's who it was. Okay.
She had a TKO over Dern
and then
back in November.
She had 3 losses before that.
She did have 3 losses before that. But
And
those 3 women are the top 3 women in the division right now.
Yeah.
I think bar Tatiana Suarez. I don't think she's top 3. But, or she is number 2 in the rankings. I'm sorry. She is number 2. And, you know, Jan is fighting for the title the same night. She beat her previously as well. She beat Andrade. And Marina Rodriguez is coming off of a win as well over Michelle Watterson.
Oh, that's a good win.
Both these women coming in with a couple good wins, coming back after a win after a couple losses too. So this is kind of a like a temperature check for these fighters, you know.
Yeah, both got a lot to prove. I mean, especially Andrade, because like you know how them UFC contracts go, bro. You lose 3 in a row, and Dana's got you on the burner. And I think pressure's on for her. UFC 300. Both these girls have a lot at stake. Man, it's always hard for me to go against Andrade.
I'm with you. I kind of want to see Marina Rodriguez. I'd love to see her. You know, they're both getting up there too. Like Marina Rodriguez is 36, Andrade's 32. It'd be cool to see another fighter with a lot of history and a lot of time spent in cages and various organizations getting a win there. So see if she can pull through.
Who are you leaning towards?
I am going to go with Marina Rodriguez.
This is going to be our first split of the night, dude.
Oh, yeah?
I'm looking to have some controversy between us because we always usually have like one fight.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see who's going to win for the night. Okay. This is a badass fight. The very next one. Jalen Turner versus, you say it.
Renato Moicano.
Renato Moicano, okay. I almost say Chano.
Moicano.
This fight can be badass, man. I want to see. I'm trying to find out their reach advantage because I think Jalen Turner has like a much bigger reach. Yep, 77-inch reach versus Renato's 72-inch reach.
Wow.
And Jalen Turner knows how to use it.
Yes.
He's very dangerous from the outside. Renato can box. He can get in close. He's definitely. It's a speed bump for him for sure, but definitely not a game killer. Again, Jalen Turner's a southpaw, which to me makes it even harder to fight. Someone with a long reach and who's a southpaw, you got to get a lot of good sparring in with southpaws in order to learn how to handle that. For whatever reason, it just is very hard to. It's very hard to fight a southpaw that has a lot of reach on you.
Yeah.
You're stepping in, and you're hoping not to get caught with like a hook, or you're learning how to beat that lead foot. before. Whereas normally training with orthodox, you're kind of dancing and you can kind of match step for step.
Right, right, right.
You're constantly just you got to kind of dance around that lead foot, and it makes it for an awkward dance. Whereas like southpaws, I feel like get the box a lot of orthodox people, um, so that they kind of learn the sport.
In a different way.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
learn.
yeah. I'm right-handed, but I strike in southpaw.
Okay,
So I know exactly what you're talking about from the other side of it. So like a lot of all the sparring I've done is mostly against orthodox fighters. Um, so I know what you're saying. Like it seems easier, but trust me, we're going through the same thing you're going through because it's just a mirror match. It's just you're just fighting your reflection.
yeah, okay. And this could be completely because I always have an issue with southpaws, but I know there's a whole club of us. we meet we meet all the time. We talk about it on the mat. Um, I, I'm actually I'm gonna let you go first. You say it.
Pick wise?
Yeah, or what are your
Oh
specs?
man, I think I really like Moicano. From a pure like vibes and like enjoyment factor, Moicano taking the mic and going, Moicano wants money is one of the best little clips UFC has had in years, and they marketed that and they knew what they were doing because that guy is awesome and I love his Twitter. He's so funny. Uh, Jalen Turner though, like you said, dangerous guy. So Moicano, this is kind of a temperature check for him. Like, hey, you doing good? Like, you still fighting good? Because Moicano's been in it for a minute, but he's now just getting some attention. So I'd love to see him get a big win here
Is
and
that
jump up the rankings. I'm taking Moicano 100%.
you're taking Moicano 100%?
100%. 100%.
Again, we got to divide, man. I'm going.
Ooh, good, good, good.
He's dangerous. He's dangerous. Moicano's dangerous too. But man, look at Jalen Turner. He's got a 71% KO rate.
Yep,
He's got a 29% submission rate.
yep.
No decisions. His average
No decisions.
7 minutes knockdown average is 1.23 per 15 minutes in the ring. I mean, it just looks dangerous, man. I mean, I know Moicano is good. He's won by submissions and decisions.
Yep.
And
He's never got a knockout finish, but he has 10 submissions. Um,
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, can it happen? Yeah. Can he close the distance? I mean, shit. If he has been practicing getting inside that range and getting a hold of Jalen Turner,
mhm,
it's possible. But Jalen Turner is just very athletic,
right.
and I'm gonna have to fact check myself here, but like it was one of the recent fights. Bobby Green, just that KO over Bobby Green. I just want to make sure I had it right. It was fucking. I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't expect that to go down like that.
I know. And that's, I think, what makes that Bobby Green versus Jim Miller fight so interesting as well. Is like Bobby Green come back from that looking good, or
Bobby Miller.
Bobby Miller?
I'm gonna go to AI and have him make a Bobby Miller photo, kind of like the Diddy Epstein photo.
That's a good one. What a good poll.
So yeah, I'm going Turner. You're going Marciano. Here we go, Jackson. This is the controversy we need.
You know, a little competitive pick making makes it more interesting, right?
And guys, you let us know who you agree with. You know,
Yeah.
you're a betting man on Jackson or Acai/Kevin over here. Who would it be? Um, all right, let me. My dog just opened up the door with the. So many fights left to go. Sorry about the interruption. This one, I always like Diego Lopez. Sodiq Yusuf versus Diego Lopez.
Yeah. Super Sodic versus Diego Lopez.
Suda Sodiq. How are you so good at this?
Because I follow him on Twitter. his at is Super Sodic. That's all. Funny guy. Again, he actually has a good YouTube channel where he posts a lot of just like vlog style content of him training and just like memes and stuff. And like he does the fight week breakdowns just like this.
Oh,
Um, that'd be cool to reach out to him, man. Who knows?
we gotta reach out. We gotta reach
Yeah,
out.
he's super funny, and he always like reacts to and like talks to fans on Twitter. So, um,
Mr. Sodiq, bro, if you hear this, man,
yeah,
you can make a little boy's day.
So Super Sodic, after your win this weekend, man, come on, jump on the podcast.
So I can put you down.
Talk about UFC 300.
Oh, spoiler alert: Jackson's going with Sodic.
Oh my, oopsie.
How do you see this one going?
I really want to see. So both these guys are pretty new to the UFC. Diego Lopez is like super new to the UFC. He's only been in this league since last year, but he did lose a Contender Series bout in 2021. Sodic has only been in the UFC since 2018. Also coming from Dana White's Contender Series, but he won Dana White's Contender Series in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Lopez coming off of a 2-fight win, one against Gavin Tucker and then Pat Sabatini, and then Sodic coming off of a loss against Edson Barboza in a decision bout. So long. It was his first. I want to say it was his first title or not title. His first main card, his first main event of his career in the UFC. So pretty big moment for him, and unfortunately he didn't make it up to the test. But in that fight, he still looked pretty good. That ended up being fight of the night, and it was a decision. I don't see the results of the decision how close it was, but I remember that the striking was very good. It wasn't a unanimous decision for Edson Barboza, but I remember it being a pretty good fight.
See, I missed that one, but I know he's very whatchamacallit, very athletic, very exciting. Diego Lopez is exciting too. I mean, again, this is such a good matchup because
it really is.
I didn't even know he's Brazilian, dude. I thought he was Spanish. That's so funny. But yeah, Lopez, like, I mean, dude, his like submission game is pretty fun to watch. He's actually, I think he's a little bit of a sleeper. I think he's starting to build a fan base because he's been pretty active.
Right.
All of his fights have been, super entertaining to watch. I'm gonna go with Lopez on this one.
Okay.
I just think, to me, I mean, this one is one of those ones to me that could go either way. I actually think Sadiq is the favorite. He is. But I think this one could easily go either way, and I just think Lopez is starting to become like one of those fighters that's a little bit better every time you watch him, and he's exciting to watch. He's easy to kind of look forward to, and like I said a few times, I think he's starting to build like a fan base of people who are like, oh man, I like that guy.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of talk about him too, and I remember that armbar that he got was pretty nice against who's that against Gavin Tucker. I remember that armbar was super nice. So
yeah, he's got some good grappling skills, man, and he'll fight off of his back and stay dangerous, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
When he lost against Ivalov, man, that was a close fight, and Ivalov has proven he's like one of the top contenders in the weight class, you know.
Right.
So that to me kind of stuck with me as well. Like I'm like, oh man, he's like about at that level because that was a good fight.
Yes.
Again, I think Sadiq is also dangerous. I think everyone's dangerous, but at this level. But I just in my gut, I'm leaning towards Lopez. I think he's just shown that he can hang with the top, and he gets better every time.
Yeah, man. So this is a 3-fight split then. So I'm still going the opposite way again. I'm picking Sodiq Yusuff. I'd like to see him get the win. Personally, I like his vibes. I like him, his socials, and I like the way he fights. So I can't go wrong picking him in my opinion.
The stakes are high for UFC 3.
I'm saying.
Look at us, bro. It's dividing us, Jackson.
It is, man. It is.
This is the difference between cramming and 3 days of maybe overthinking. Let's see what works best.
Hey, who knows? You know, it's kind of one of those things like you wing it, you do great, you overthink it, you fail. We'll see. Who knows what happens?
Roll into the next fight, man. What do you got?
This is a big one. Holly Holm, Kayla Harrison's UFC debut. I was just watching a video the other day with God, what's his name? Shintaro Higashi, the judo guy, if you're familiar with him. He was talking about how he was one of the first coral belts in the U.S. until Kayla Harrison got hers on the podium. And then I just thought it was so funny, and I loved that little reference right before we were talking about UFC 300 with her making her UFC debut
Yeah,
up against the preacher's daughter, Holly Holm.
preach.
Uh, so it's gonna be interesting to see. The strike. This is like very classic striker versus grappler
Right.
matchup.
Yeah, and it's also interesting too because I mean, what put Holly Holm on the map was beating Ronda Rousey, who's a judo champ. You
Yes.
know what I mean? So it's kind of like almost like full circle. Holly Holm gets out there and beats the biggest badass, who's also a freaking judo, you know,
Mastermind.
mastermind. Right. And her career took off ever since that.
Right.
Now you got this fight with Kayla Harrison, who's also a beast. She fought in the PFL, right? That's where she came from.
Yeah, yeah. She was in PFL, and it looks like on here it says she was Invicta for a fight. Just kind of a random one to jump from
PFL 's
PFL to Invicta.
yeah, the PFL is a cool league. Did she go to Victa after she lost the belt?
No, she went to Invicta for like one fight in 2020. Maybe PFL wasn't doing fights for that year because of COVID,
Hmm.
but
Uh,
she did an Invicta fight in 2020
okay,
against a fighter that doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. So
so there goes that.
yeah,
research. Yeah. So UFC debut. I mean, you and I just did this last time with Michael Venom Page
right.
coming out. A lot of people see it. Oh man, this is my opportunity. A lot of people, shine. I watched a documentary with Kayla Harrison talking about, her past and coming up into, all through her judo career, and then when she was done with judo, where she walked into a MMA gym, and she's like, "Look, man, I love her mentality. I have a lot of respect for both these women, and
Yeah, so do I.
both like in and outside the cage slash like their mindset just for the sport. They're both like top notch, classy martial artists. This fight kind of sucks because like man, you want to root for both of them, or at least I do.
Yes.
Um, but her mentality, from her words, she wanted to train with the best, bro, and I kind of like it because she almost treated it like a business when she's talking about her coaches and where she picked and who she picked and why. Like she, in her mind, researched and picked out the dream team that could get her to the UFC. That was like what was always in her mind was UFC, and now here it is. So it just shows that she kind of has that built for success mindset, and she'll put her ducks in a row and work at it till she gets it.
Hell yeah.
Um, Holly Holm, veteran dude. I mean, this girl. I don't think there hasn't been many fights where she hasn't at least been in the fight. Even with the fights that she's lost, not a lot of them are like a significant like, you know, got
Mhm.
ass beating. Like she's good no matter who you put her in front of. I'm looking at her right now, and her takedown defense is actually 78%.
That's pretty good for a boxer.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of wrestlers who have lower than that in the cage. So she I mean, all that time at Greg Jackson's, and she's at a very good camp, very good gym. It's a really tough one to call. I think I say that for every fight. Um, now the fire is on because we're so divided. So I got to make sure that like I always have a chance to come back at you. Uh, Holly Holm is the favorite. Kayla
That's crazy to me, if you want me to be honest.
Kayla Harrison's like a negative 500, which to me is kind of like a relatively big underdog.
That's a huge underdog. If I was the betting man looking to hit big, that's where I would put the money 100%.
Is Kayla Harrison
Oh my god, yeah. If she's minus 500, I feel like you're losing money by not trying to bet
like
on her
good on
and
her?
have her come out fucking
And we
winning.
got another crazy odd later.
Okay.
We got another crazy one down here that's even bigger.
I don't have the odds pulled up, so I'll keep it as a surprise until you
So
mention it.
yeah, I'll hit you with that because when I saw it, I was like, "Holy shit!" So stay tuned for that. Yeah, who are you picking? Let's just.
I am gonna pick Kayla Harrison.
Are you
Uh,
ready?
I am. I think it's fun. I know it's crazy, but I kind of like the fun picks, man. That's just kind of how I like to pick these things. I like the fun, but it's not like I'm picking like a can, you know. And that's what I can say. Like she
Right.
was 15-0 in MMA since she made her debut.
Hmm.
She lost to a fighter she has fought two other times and beat two other times. So she, even when she loses, she's only losing a decision against somebody that she already knows how to beat. So it's kind of one of, you know, just a thing where, again, classic grappler versus striker. Obviously, Holly Holm, like you said, her takedown defense is like sneaky good. Um, but also look at age here, man. Father Time, little undefeated. Kayla Harrison, 33, fighting Holly Holm, who is 10 years, almost 10 years her senior.
Yeah, but
So you want to go youth? You want to go somebody that's probably going to.
you make a good point because Kayla Harrison has 17 mixed martial arts fights, and Holly Holm has a total of 19.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, 21.
21, which
Like,
is, yeah,
it's not that big of a. I mean,
no,
it's
no.
there's something to say about each fight, but it's still like not a huge difference compared to the 10 years age difference.
Right. The
Uh,
other thing is the level of skill that Holly Holm has competed against versus the level of skill Kayla Harrison has competed against is vastly different.
in what way?
Holly Holm has continuously fought the best of the best in her division, in her weight classes, and you know she's
Right.
fought in a couple of different weight classes up and down. The best women in the world have competed against Holly Holm in both boxing and MMA, and Holly Holm has continuously shown that she could beat them.
See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, she fought Raquel Pennington. Oh, that was 2020. That's like 4 years ago. That almost doesn't. It's not the same. But with the takedown defense of like 78%, with how good her striking is, and how, like you said, she's been able to hang with the best all this time since she's walked in the cage the first time, that at UFC at least that we've seen. She's been outstanding, and you look through her record, and it's just like, dude, she's not like really on losing streaks. She's got a 57% KO record. She doesn't have any subs, but she's got a 43% decision. So she can do the long haul thing. I mean, she can fight the grappler. Her hands are good. Gosh, man, you make good points, and I might be sticking my neck out a little bit too far on this one, but I was leaning Holly Holm.
Oh, I like the submission pun too, keeping her neck out there.
Yeah, you see,
Look, I'd love to see Kayla Harrison come in, get a debut win, just like MVP did, you know,
right.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So I think it can happen. I think it will happen. I'm calling my bold pick, Kayla Harrison, arm bars, Holly Holm for the victory.
armbar, dude. That's a Super Bowl pick.
Well, I'm only making that decision because she's only ever won submissions by arm attacks. Her first ever submission win was an armbar. Her second ever submission win was a key lock, which is like an Americana, I guess. And then the rest are just arm bars. She's only ever won submission wise by arm bars.
Okay, all right, and that makes sense with judo because that's a judo thing.
Oh yeah,
Throw them on their ass and pull that arm back. So, Jackson, dude, for this specific fight, I hope you're right. Just because it's your Super Bowl pick,
yes.
I think that would be more exciting than me winning this pick. But I'm going with Holly Holm, man. If Father Time wins, then I probably won't bet on him anymore or against him anymore.
Yeah, Father Time undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Except for Jim Miller. Jim Miller and Father Time are like this. You know, they're so tight. So who knows?
On his payroll.
Yes.
But dude, I mean, hey, and you have a good point for the betting man out there. That's probably the underdog to take.
Yeah.
Okay, coming into this next one, dude, I'm trying to see it. Calvin Cater versus Aljamain Sterling. I'm trying to see it from like the. Oh, okay, now I see it. Okay, I was gonna say I'm trying to see it from the competitive standpoint, but Aljamain's bumping up a weight class, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is gonna be Aljo's debut at kind of like Figueiredo at a higher weight class. Calvin Cater's a fucking dog, bro. I think he has some sick hands. Like I like his boxing style. Um, before we get too far in it, yeah, dude, his takedown defense is 91%, Jackson.
Man.
91%, bro. This
That's
dude has
good.
30 fights on his record.
Yeah,
And he fought people like, fuck. He's fought, I gotta look at his record.
I
Just
got you. His biggest wins,
said
some
40.
name guys: Shane Burgos, Jeremy Stevens, Dan Ige, Giga Chikadze. Um,
He's fought good wrestlers. I know that.
yes, he has.
I mean, I he's off. He's coming off a couple losses. I guess his record's been a little bit shaky. I mean, in his past 5 fights, he's lost 3 of them.
Yeah,
But or he hasn't fought since 2022
no way. Yeah, wow. He must have been injured.
against Arnold Allen.
Oh yeah, TKO knee injury. Yep, he
Okay.
must have blew out his ACL or something.
Yeah, so this is a kind of wonky because, like, it's Aljo's coming up, and you know what they like to do, man. Let's be honest. Sometimes, they like to throw the person a fight, and I think some people disagree, some people will agree. That's what the comment section is for. But they, you feel me? But they sometimes, man, like Aljamain Sterling is going up a weight class. I think he's letting his boy, Zuckerberg's boy, whatever.
Yeah, Marab.
Yeah, that guy. I think he's letting him try to take over the bantamweight class, and he's come up to featherweight. And sometimes they'll throw
Mhm.
them a fight or two that is kind of in their favor. I don't know. I mean, it made
I know
sense.
what you mean. I know what you're getting at without saying it. Yeah.
It made sense because it's like, okay, Cater's got such a high defense, takedown defense. He's got really good hands. Aljo might have a hard time getting him down, and he might get outboxed. But like, I mean, coming off of a freaking, it's been 2 years knee injury. I mean, this is kind of like, he's Calvin might have a little bit of ring rust at the same time as Aljo is like trying to get used to his new body weight. You know what I mean?
Right.
And his new pacing and stuff like that. I think Aljo is a good enough athlete to handle it. I don't think it'll bother him.
Mhm.
A little bit heavier. Um, Actually, Cater's the favorite still.
Wow. Cater's the favorite over. I mean, the thing is,
Not,
I think the problem is with favorites is they go a lot on recency bias, right? So they're like, oh, Aljo got dog walked by Sean O'Malley,
mm-hmm.
you know. But that fight was so weird. Let it be known. Even with the knockout, like Aljo just didn't look like himself. He was fighting so scared, you know. And I think you've mentioned you're not a huge Aljo guy,
No.
but I think that I think that Cater. How big is the favorite difference? I don't have the odds.
It's not. It's not huge. I mean, it's Cater is plus 135. Aljo is minus 160.
Okay, so yeah, it isn't huge, and this is kind of a toss up fight, right? Aljo's first step up, like you said. Cater's first fight in 2 years, coming off of a knee injury, which sometimes is just kind of it, right? Like can't really always come back from that one. Um, so we'll see. Get enough roids in them, they'll do whatever. You know,
Yeah.
roids and painkillers.
Well, I mean, we'll see, bro. I mean,
The height difference is pretty big.
yeah. That's why
So
I'm like studying. This is, I guess, one that I overlooked. But yeah, 5'11" by 5 to 5'7".
yeah,
Same exact reach almost.
yeah, they do. So what's even weirder, man, is that Wikipedia has Cater's height listed at 5'11", but the UFC one has him at I think what 5'9" or 5'8", right?
I'm on UFC here, and it says 5'11".
Okay. So when I pull up when I just click from UFC 300 and click on their fight, it puts Cater at 5'9" for some reason. So, little height discrepancy somewhere.
It's weird because their arm reach, according to UFC, and their leg reach, according to UFC, is like there's only a 1 inch difference. And
In
Cater
Cater's favor.
40, yeah, and Aljo's 71-39.
Mm,
This is kind of an interesting fight. The more I'm like looking at it, um, obviously, like I'd lean towards wanting Cater,
yeah.
but what's Cater's rank? That's another thing I'm looking for. Is like, is he still in the rankings? Is he still a ranked fighter?
I mean, shoot, if they kept John Jones P for P for that long, it's probably he's probably still there.
Tough call on this one. I say that for everyone.
Yeah, you really. I mean,
Dude,
That's the thing with this. The matchups, the matchmaking on this card is like
Is
chef's kiss.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it is going to be like, oh man, who are we going to pick? You know.
that's what we said at the beginning too, man. Like this is like the more you look at these fights, the more you're like this is really good matchmaking. Like there are some good fights lined up here, man.
Dana was cooking.
Yeah, man. Part of me just wants to say Cater is gonna like. I just feel like Aljo always finds a way.
Yeah.
Whether I agree with the way or not, and whether I think it's a legit way or not, is a different story.
Yeah.
But he always somehow like there's something about that guy that just somehow gets it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
It's that camp, man. Like that Sarah Longo camp is so good.
I don't know. Sometimes it's I feel like sliding the ref a little bit of money. Sometimes
Maybe, man. I don't know. They got that Dana favoritism. You know, who knows?
being a white privilege.
Yeah.
Talk-
Yeah.
but
You saw, speaking of Sarah Longo, Chris Weidman's a weird little win last weekend. If you saw that,
I'm,
um,
I read the headlines and
the
shit.
eye pokes. Uh, so who knows? Maybe Aljo's going to take a page out of Chris Weidman's book if he's been training with him enough, and just go for eye poke city.
Take that.
Uh,
God.
can't hit me if you can't see me. You know.
Yeah. We gotta who you got? We gotta put a we gotta put
In this one, man. I guess I'm gonna have to pick Aljamain Sterling.
I know, bro. I kinda lean that way too. I'm gonna pick him just because mm, I'm just picking him.
I mean, look, he also hadn't lost a fight up until Sean Malley since he lost to Marlon Moraes in 2017. So it's not like you're picking a bad choice. It's just kind of like
Debatable.
you
I
know.
feel like Jan beat him. I mean, I'm gonna hold on to
True.
death in me. I feel like that Jan fight was some bullshit. It's funny how we're going into this again, but like, dude, you backpack somebody for 4 minutes and one fight that's a win. That's win. Yeah. Well, he had control for 8 minutes of the fight, and then the next fight, it's like, yeah, you can backpack, but you did no damage, so you lose. It just doesn't make sense.
I know. Yeah.
I'm in the camp. I'm gonna go polarizing here. I'm in the camp of like if you take someone down and they get back up within a relatively like even if it's like 2 or 3 minutes, they get back to their feet and you didn't even throw a punch or advance a position. It's kind of a wash. Like to me, that's kind of the same as pushing someone against the fence but not doing anything and just leaning on them. And so if you take someone's back and you're unable to finish them or like do any damage to them or like wear them out or do any thing,
Yeah.
to me that's like in my head that's a wash. You're in a super advantage position, right?
Right.
But you don't get the finish and you know you don't flatten the chicken. You don't land punches. You don't go for the choke. Like, and I get it. Trust
Yeah.
me, I get it. In competition, it's a lot harder than it looks. It's not as easy. These guys are athletes. Centimeters matter, by a lot.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, you also got to keep in mind that you're fighting for fans. That's who's paying. The people who don't understand.
True.
Sometimes the guys who are like, who they have to cater these decisions and stuff too. And to me, that just doesn't. That part doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That being
The
said,
average casual fan doesn't care for much grappling. So.
I'm going against everything I stand on, and I'm going for this guy. I'm ready.
Well, we're back to agreeing, I guess. So that's a win.
Yeah, that's enough time on that guy, man. And the next one, Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rekik.
I think it's Rakic.
I know. I'm just
Rakic. I mean, yeah, this is an all names fight. Like both these guys are making the all name team.
I got the Oscar right, Alexander Rekik or Rakic. But
I don't know.
just whatever. Guys, I'm not good at this. This is not my full time job. We're all here. We all get better.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to go with this one? How do you want to do this?
I'll lead if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So I do like the Eastern European fight that we have right here, Yuri versus Rakic. So pretty good. Prohaska was champ for a very brief time before he hurt his shoulder and had to go out, and then he comes back and gets dog walked by Alex Pereira, of all people, because that guy is a Terminator, a T1000 model. So kind of just Prohaska before that is just such an exciting fighter. Like
Oh yeah.
that spinning elbow against Dominic Reyes is like one of my favorite knockouts of all time. Like it's so good. Like it's so well executed. Like right as he's backing off the cage, boom, that spinning elbow and just put him down, you know.
As well, and dude, that Glover fight.
Yeah. And Rakic, again, another 2-year break. He hasn't fought since May of 2022.
Wow.
From a knee injury, it says. He did tear his ACL. So again, these knee injuries are these, especially on these bigger guys, right? Because this is our first light heavyweight fight of the night. Because I think, yeah, this is our first big boy fight of the night. So this is exciting. Plus, Yuri here is from Czech Republic, which I have, one of my dear friends is from Czech Republic, so I have a lot of respect for Yuri. And I also love his fighting style, and he's funny, and he's like the samurai meme guy, like the jujitsu guy that's like, yeah, I read the Book of Five Rings, and that's what changed my life. So and he's that guy, which is like awesome. Like he just fully plays into it. He fought in Risen for a long time.
He what?
He fought in Risen for a long time.
I thought he was in prison.
No, he fought in prison. Yeah, no, he fought over in Risen for a long time, which is a great league. Before making his UFC debut in 2020, but he's also only had like one fight a year because of like injuries and time off, and the light heavyweight division kind of being held up here and there. So who knows? But I'm 100% even before I even look at Rakic, I'm picking Yuri. I think he comes back and gets his win. Rakic hasn't fought since 2022. His last loss was to Jan, who Yuri beat. No, they never fought. They were supposed to fight, and then so that's still an interesting one to see coming up maybe sometime. But I think that Rakic is just, I don't want to say he's a can, but I think that he's going out there to make Yuri look good.
I think Yuri's going to work his way back to the belt. A lot of respect for Yuri as well. Another thing to note as I'm looking, dude, Rakic has a 90% takedown defense. So I kind of see what they're doing here, man. They're making
they're strikers.
Yeah. Yeah, both these guys definitely are strikers. Their significant strikes and their KOs are like identical. 86% KO rate to 69% KO rate for Rakic. Significant strikes 55%, Yuri 50%, Rakic. It's like defense 40%, Yuri defense 53%, Rakic. It's on paper it's a close-up fight. I think Yuri's I didn't lose faith in him at all losing that fight to Potan,
Right, yeah. The stone face killer of Alexander Pereira. It's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, there's no huge shame in losing that fight.
Nah.
But I mean, I don't think Yuri is completely out. Like I feel like he might get his chance at the belt again. I think he'll be back. That Glover fight, bro. Just an honorable mention. You're talking about that fight career, Yuri.
And that was an awesome fight.
Is a fucking awesome fight. And
that last round was so crazy.
Oh my gosh.
That last round feels like it went for 20 minutes.
I put that fight with like the Costa and fuck, why can't I think of it? Why am I out of it? I'm like staring at these names too much. The guy who just like basically retired and he went to BKFC.
Oh, Rockhold?
Rockhold. I put that fight like up there with like the Rockhold Costa fight, which is how much of a mess, but how like much of a violent mess it was. I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude, it just ignites the gladiator in you, the ancient Roman who just wants to watch people bleed.
Fucking love it. Yeah, I'm going with Yuri Prohaska for sure on this one.
I like it. I like it. I love it. I love Yuri. I would love to just talk to that guy.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I'd have too much. I feel like I wouldn't be able to resist trolling.
Yeah, I know, right? Plus, I love the coming up with Jamal Hill later. I'll mention it again probably, but I love that when Yuri was when Jamal Hill, or sorry, when Yuri had to vacate the title, and then Jamal Hill got the belt. I love that video of Yuri out in the snow, and he's like, I'm coming, I'm coming. And Jamal Hill made a video, and he was like, that's what she said. That's what she said. So funny. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see Yuri go out there and work his way back to a title shot because he's a monster.
Yeah, he is. I like his style, and I don't know, just an interesting dude. Like you said, he's playing it. He's just playing it.
Hello, hello.
Hey, okay. Now we're into the thick of it, dude.
We
Feeling
are.
so far about UFC 300, Jackson?
Say that again.
How are you feeling so far about UFC 300?
I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling more excited than I was before I started breaking down all these fights. So I guess it worked.
Awesome, guys. How are you feeling, guys at home, ladies, gents, they, them's, whatever? How are you guys doing? Good. Um, let me know below. Tell Jackson
Yeah. Tell me.
his
Let me
tell
know.
uh, his picks are interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's making me question my picks with
No,
it.
no, no. I would never.
All right. So this first fight, dude, if you're on ESPN, they have Bo Nickel at -3,000 and Cody Brundage at +1,100. And then if you're on UFC.com, they have Bo Nickel at -1350 favorite and Cody Brundage at +800.
Hmm.
Wait, do I have that backwards?
You know, you got it right. Minuses are favorites. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, because I'm like, still, what the fuck? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's that. Look,
so
the
is
problem
this
is with the betting odds. More often than not, betting odds are recency bias. You know,
right? And
but I think they're maybe warranted in this instance.
yeah, at the same time, Vegas don't want to lose their ass on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it might be a recency bias, but they're not going to give you fucking -3,000 odds, like
No.
or +800 odds or whatever. You know what I
No.
mean?
Yeah.
Insane. So that being said, I'm going Bo Nickel.
I think you've made a great pick. First of all, love Bo Nickel. Penn State guy. You know, I don't even care about college wrestling, but I loved watching Bo Nickel wrestle. Um,
Oh yeah,
you know, so that's exciting to see. Cody Brundage. To be honest, don't know much about him. I'm looking at his record here, and his record also makes me go, don't know much about him. So
he's got
we'll see.
73% takedown defense.
He's got a what was that percent? You cut out.
Oh, 73% takedown defense.
Yeah, Nate's not that don't matter against Bo Nickel.
That's how I feel.
It don't matter at all. I think that Bo Nickel goes out there, probably dog walks him, whether it's TKO, because he's only ever seen the most amount of time he's seen in a professional fight is 2 minutes and 54 seconds. So
UFC level,
yeah,
right? All of his fights are UFC level.
no. He fought once in George Masvidal's fight league icon, and then 2 fights in Dana White's Contender Series, and
Okay.
then uh, 2 fights in the UFC so far.
I mean, contender series in UFC, that is like that's high level.
Yeah.
Masvidal's league is like you could get matched up with a scrub pretty easily, but still,
Yes.
um, but I mean, dude, I think Bo Nickel's it. I mean, as a martial artist, bro, I gotta love it when I see people like. Not only is his wrestling like accolades just insane, but like he went out and did a match with Gordon Ryan.
Yep.
Now he's showing up and doing MMA. Like the guy is like willing to like just do martial arts, push himself and go against the best people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and
Like
that's yeah,
he's not gonna turn down anyone, and his talent is just there. I think a lot of people will agree. Like I think he's like the next up and coming guy. I think he's gonna do well.
yeah. I do too. I don't know how I feel about him in what I mean, he's middleweight, right? I feel like he'd be doing a little bit better at welter, just because there's less wrestlers in that division.
Right.
But Bo Nickel versus Kamaru Usman is a hell of a fight to make in the future.
I was just about to say, like, him versus Usman or Hamzat, like, for UFC is like shit that I expected. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, these were like the fights that type of like crazy matchups is what I was like expecting out of UFC 300. I think the matchmaking, as we keep saying, is very good on here, on this card, when you like start dissecting it. But like I was expecting crazy marketing matchups, like such as like Bo Nickel versus Usman or Hamzat or whatever.
Right.
Um,
Hey, who's to say they weren't offered and they declined?
yeah, I don't know what's up with Hamzat. He doesn't seem like he's fighting much lately, and I don't Usman as well. I
Well, it
mean,
was just Ramadan. A lot of those folks that
yeah,
are of Islam do not
I think that
fight
isn't
during Ramadan.
part because they couldn't have Makachev, they couldn't have
Yep.
they couldn't have freaking Hamzat. Yeah, I think that was an issue with this card was they couldn't get like a lot of the Ramadan fighters.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
They respect.
So I think we have a clear like Bo Nickel on this one.
Yeah, a little bit of a can crushing here. One of those. They always throw a couple in there here and there. But it's not like this Cody Brundage guy can't. Has never won. He's out there. He's doing his thing. It's just Bo Nickel's kind of that guy.
And dude, and to be honest, when you're that much of an underdog, you got nothing to lose. I mean, you come out and lose, you're supposed to. You come out and win, holy shit! Like
Yeah, true.
And then again, like you go out and you fight someone like Bo Nickel, who you're a huge underdog. If you do well against him, or even have a good round against him, you have what level is out there that you need to reach, like what the next level is. And B, you have a good round against Bo Nickel. People are gonna be like, man, that guy. Let's not forget, Cody Brundage had like a dominant round against So there's not really much for him to lose.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this for sure.
So take your shot, go out there, and there's take your shot, go out fight Bo Nickel, and there is a come on, work with me here. 80% chance you just get subbed.
Yep. Hey, who knows?
Go out there, try your best, and you might have to tap, but it is what it is.
And there's a 20% chance you make a bunch of bettors mad.
Yeah, for real, right? Charles Oliveira versus Armin.
Now, this one's interesting because originally the fight order that they first showed had Oliveira on the prelims, but enough people complained that they put him on the main card. Thank God, because they had Bo Nickel fighting above Charles Oliveira, which is crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did. The original, like when they showed like the fight order, Oliveira was in the prelims, and they switched it with can't remember who they had, but they switched it. I think they had Aljo on the main card, and they switched him to prelims. But there isn't this whole card is like nobody's really a prelim fighter here. So and every single person here could be a main card fighter.
Yeah.
And we're going into Charles Oliveira versus Armin Sarukian.
Yeah.
Which is a great fight.
I think so too. I don't know how to call this one. I mean,
I really want to see Oliveira win, like really bad. I really pull hard for that guy. It sucked watching him lose to Islam. I would have loved to see him keep that belt for a little bit longer. The champ has a name, Charles Oliveira, and now he has a chance to probably go up against Islam again if he beats Armin.
Yeah, and I think he was supposed to fight Islam, but I think that was one of the discussions was him versus Islam for that rematch. And I think Islam is a little bit of saying Ramadan, but he was also kind of saying like he's moved on, like they've had the opportunity to rematch a couple of times and he's moving on. But the thing with Oliveira, man, and I was saying it for a little bit, he started so slow every fight. It looked like every person he fight was gonna win.
Yeah.
The dude just held on, until either A, the person like blew their wad, or B, he just caught the person when they're like aggressively confident. You know what I mean? And I said for a while, I'm like, it's fucking awesome. And then you start believing, like, man, like that's just his fight style. But like, I just feel like you can't do that forever.
Right.
And like that weight class, lightweight, is like so dangerous right now. There's not like a slacker in it.
No,
Like
no,
the
everybody's pulling.
so tight in that division. I think it's the most competitive division they have right now.
I agree.
Again, dude, Sarukin has a fucking 75% takedown defense. Are they
Yeah.
trying to like an all stand up like card? I don't.
I mean, I
But
think so because, like I said, I think a majority or a good portion of this card is just on ESPN, just for like American viewers. So the average person turning on the UFC doesn't want to watch two people do
oh,
jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Um. I mean, again, there's two ways to look at it. Oliveira is always dangerous.
Yep.
You can't really count him out. But like Sarukin is like I don't know. He's just another one.
Dog.
Yeah,
It's just
I
a
don't see
dog.
him blowing like a lead. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I don't see him dropping the ball. I think if
Right.
he goes out there and he fights Oliveira and he starts out dominant, which it seems like a lot of people do with Oliveira, I don't see him like I see that being a downhill battle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That is a great analogy.
Um, and it's so hard for me to say this. I mean, I think Sarukin is, yeah, he's the favorite. Negative 245. No, wait. Do I have this backwards? This can't be right. Hold on. Negative 235 plus 190. Okay, well, sheesh.
Negatives are favorites.
Right. No, I just both my screens were saying different things.
Oh, okay, okay.
When you go, so yeah, so like that's a hard thing too with odds. It's like sometimes I pull them up and it's like sometimes like a website hasn't updated it recently.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
So like sometimes I have like odds from like a week or two ago or a month ago. So like I was kind of going through my pages making sure like, hey, wait, that's kind of crazy. So it's looking like Sarukin's like a negative 205 and Oliveira's plus 170.
Okay,
So I think Oliveira's been itching to get back in there.
for
Um,
sure.
I think
Yeah,
he's
it's almost been a year for him.
yeah, it's been a while. I don't know if he spent that year healing up or not. Is that what it was or
I'm not so sure. I think he just took a little time. I think he was waiting for the Islam fight, and they
what
told him no.
the rematch go through? Because they did that fall through?
Possibly, I can't remember for sure. I don't want to spread too much false information. I'll lie a little bit, but
I don't know. Okay, you just threw me off with
yeah, sorry, man. Yeah,
that.
I'm lying. I've been lying the whole time. I don't know shit about fighting.
Right? Except for you're always close.
Yeah.
On the card, yeah, on all the cards pretty well. You only dropped the ball a couple of times.
All right.
You don't totally suck.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm just trying to keep the chain going. Dude, it's so hard for me to bet against Oliveira, but I'm going Sarukin.
I actually I was waiting for you to say Oliveira because I was gonna say Sarukian. So
Oh, really?
I also think Armin takes this. They both beat Benil most recently. I think it's pretty funny. I like when stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
So they both are coming off the same camp essentially. Well, fighting off of the same previous camp. And they both beat him by TKO/KO. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Both these guys are very dangerous. Oliveira has the most finishes in UFC history. Um, so
Ooh. See, and that's what makes it like so hard to bet against him, man. Because like
Exactly. He can finish the fight anywhere.
he's not, he doesn't get finished very easily, and he's always dangerous. So it's just like almost like a durability thing. Like it's just like he's so
Mm.
dangerous and he's so durable that like he you got to be focused. If it's a, I'm guessing it's a 3 round fight, but you got to be focused for 18 minutes. You know,
Yep.
five, five or 3 5 minute rounds and 1 minute in between each round. You got to be focused the whole time. Is
The
that
thing is, the way Oliveira plays jiu-jitsu in this sport too is he he goes, I'll sit, I'll lay down, you come here, and then they're just gonna let him up, you know.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks. It kind of works for him sometimes, kind of doesn't. So, you know, um, Oliveira is just they just it's either gonna go great and he's gonna get a sub, or he also, the way he plays the sub game is he leaves himself open for a lot of submissions because he's such a submission hunter and he's so good at getting submissions.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? But I'm gonna pick Armin just because I like his style as well. I like that he's also a finisher. Um, so who
He's a
knows?
fucking dog, bro. And I think like, look, I would like to, if Oliveira wins, I'm happy. But I'm just going with like what my brain is telling me, man. Um, dude, this next one, man. I'm just gonna say, I think it's a cool matchup, but that BMF shit is so
It's
cringy to me.
so cringe, dude.
I'm not used to it yet. I just like I'm just like watching videos of the BMF history and like the guys walking on with that belt, and I'm just like, the only thing I would think would be kind of cool is if like someone like Gaethje had that belt and the the actual weight class belt, the lightweight belt,
Right.
because he would be the only person with the BMF belt and the lightweight belt, and that would be kind of like cool because he's
Yes.
holding two different like looking belts. But that's the only way I can figure out how to make it actually like cool to me. I don't,
Uh,
and the Rock hands it out, which makes no sense to me because I just I don't know. Putting the BMF belt aside and looking at it as just the fight matchup. I'm pretty interested. Um, UFC has Max Holloway at 162 and Justin Gaethje at 156,
Pretty close. Really close.
which is surprising that Max Holloway is going to be like they have him down as heavier.
Yeah.
But
Both these
I
guys are also just dogs, you know? Like both these guys are just monsters.
so this is what's got me all wishy washy about it, man. Because even Khabib said that Justin Gaethje was the hardest hitting person he fought. He said that Gaethje hits like a Mack truck. Um, but Max Holloway has like one of the best chins in the fucking UFC.
Best chins and probably the crispiest boxing in the UFC.
Super good boxing, super good pacing, like never slows down.
I love Max Holloway's story of how he got his striking to be so crisp. Is he would play the first UFC game and watch what combos worked in the game, and then he modeled that in the gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he talked about how like he would watch like striking combos and fighting games and things, and like, oh, okay, well that worked. Okay, that worked. I'm gonna do that. Okay, I think I can do that.
Okay. Well,
I think that's such an interesting way to do it. Like, uh,
well
he became a fighting game character IRL.
yeah, in real life. And going back to him fighting Calvin Cater, dude. How funny is that when he's like, "Yo, I'm the best boxer," isn't shit yelling at him.
Yes.
I'm the best boxer. Um, I think this is a hard one, man. I mean, like we said, like you got Justin Gaethje, who's just a super hard hitter. That guy, like, dude, you can stun him 100 times in a fight. It's crazy. Like you can like, I mean, you know when people do the chicken wobble, the chicken dance.
Right, right, right.
Gaethje like does that like 2 or 3 times a fight, bro. like, and and still like performs. It's crazy. Um, it's super hard to call it, but like I want to say his chin's really good too. We've never seen Max Holloway get knocked out. Have we even seen Max get dropped?
I'm not so sure. Maybe, but I can't say for sure. And he's fought incredible strikers. So, you know,
Yeah.
this is such a cool fight. It's crazy these guys never fought before.
No, I mean, I'm I'm with you on this, dude. And I mean, Holloway fought Dustin Poirier.
Mm-hmm.
Was a really good fight. Um, Gaethje and Poirier was a good fight. I think this is kind of like a cool little like I don't know triangle you call it. You know what I mean? Between some
Oh,
badass dudes.
right. Kind of
They'll
like
both
rock paper scissors, you know.
they'll both probably keep it standing. I don't see Gaethje like going to take him down. Um, I want to lean with Gaethje on this. I don't know. How are you? How are you looking at this?
I kind of was thinking the same thing actually. Again, so we're converging yet again. But
Back at it.
I was thinking Gaethje. Um, he looks so good against Dustin. You know,
Right, and
knock him clean out. Boom.
he looked very good against Dustin. Um, I mean Holloway looked good against Dustin as well. The other interesting fact about this is Holloway's actually coming up a weight class, right?
I
I
believe so.
don't know catch weight or what it is because it says lightweight bout, and Holloway's usually 145s, right? Featherweight.
Yeah.
And I think like what they said when Holloway fought Dustin, Holloway came up, but Holloway wasn't like adjusted or used to
Mm,
that weight class. Like he kind of just like gained weight for it. Where I think on this card they're saying that Holloway has had more time to prepare and put on natural weight and strength. So
okay,
we're
I see what
supposed,
you're saying.
we're supposed to be getting a stronger, bigger, more powerful Holloway, which would be
Right.
pretty freaking cool to see. But it's kind of hard as humans. Like we have to kind of go off of what we've seen, and Gaethje is he's just in there to fight, just like Holloway is. I mean, I just hope this fight's not over quick.
I That's a really good way to put it. I would also love to see this fight go a long time and see these guys work and see these guys have fun
Yeah, this would be like a cool fight to put down in the books, man.
for sure.
All right, you take the reins.
Wei Li Zhang versus Yan Xiaonan, or Zhang Wei Li versus Xiaonan Yan, however you want to look at it, because Chinese last name goes first or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So this is cool, right? Two Chinese female fighters going for the same belt in the same weight class. Um, both are killers, and both have awesome striking and a great submission game too. Well, actually I say that, but now Yan Janan actually has never won a fight with submission. So I'm gonna already, like I said, I lie a little bit. But Wei
Mm-hmm.
Li has like a sneaky good submission game, and her striking's so crisp. And Yan, I think, is one of the best female boxers in the UFC right now. So we'll see how this goes. This is exciting. This is the first champ fight. Well, the second champ fight of the night, if you want to look at the BMF belt. But I'm
Yeah,
with you in the camp that I think it's a very cringe and not entertaining. It was never entertaining.
yeah, for real.
Like they gave it to Masvidal, and then he fell off the face of the earth. So,
Mm,
uh,
yeah,
and
they started off on a bad page. I wanted to mention that too before, while we're still somewhat on it. They took the BMF belt, marketed it as the biggest badass in the UFC. Who's fighting to be the biggest badass? And then they fucking did like an early stoppage.
yes,
Like they didn't start that belt off on a good page.
nah. And that's kind of think it was kind of laid vacant too, right? It was only ever fought for once, and it was Jorge. He won it, and he never defended that belt.
No, he didn't.
So it's kind of like, okay, they
It was
just wanted to market Jorge.
it was awkward. It was weird. They try to yeah, I guess jump on a marketing opportunity. I don't know. I don't know. Two of
Yeah,
the biggest badasses, especially Nate Diaz, and you stop the fight like relatively early. Like you know what I mean?
yeah.
But anyway,
But on to an actual championship belt.
yeah,
For
these, these guys are clones. These
yeah,
girls like freaking like
yeah, and they're you know what is good about this too is this is probably the best women's division right now. It's super entertaining women's division. A lot of great fighters, a lot of back and forth, and oh, this person just beat this person. Yeah, but that person just beat this person. So it's exciting to see um, what happens here. But I think I'm gonna go with Whaley. I like her odds a little bit better. I like her style a little bit better. She has a bit more to show. Both submissions and striking. Jan, just a striker and a decision fighter. So I think we see a great fight. And I think Whaley pulls out victorious.
Not to get boring here, but I completely agree with you. I think what Wei Li has always had it. I think she's always been right there, even when she didn't have the belt. She was just like, you know, just like a centimeter away from it. You know, what I mean,
Right.
she's always contending for whoever had it. Has she had it twice or she had it once?
She did. She won the UFC strawweight champ against Andrade, defended it against Joanna, lost it against Rose,
Mm-hmm.
um, then lost a split decision to Rose, and then fought Joanna again and beat Joanna, and then she beat Carla because if you remember, Carla Esparza had the belt for like a week, and then
That fucking
then uh, she defended the belt against Amanda Lemos most
I-
recently. So
okay.
she's only been fighting for champ stuff, except for Joanna. But I mean, in another way, that is a champ fight because Joanna's such a pole. It's like
Yeah. Yeah. She is dangerous. Yeah, I like I said, like I mean that just kind of goes back to like what I said. She's always just like to me, she's been a champ. You know what I mean? Like
yes,
whether she's had the belt or not, she's always been right there, like right at the door. So, um, I gotta lean towards Whaley. She's a negative 400.
yeah, that's a pretty heavy favorite for a
Yeah.
champ fight. So I think she wins. I think it'll be exciting. It's a big win for China either way. So
Yeah.
good job to Wei Li.
The two
I hope she wins.
China's winning this one.
Yes,
All right, dude. Uh,
our grand finale.
the grand finale. I mean, don't sell it too much. All right. So I think this could be a good fight. Yes. One of the hardest parts about having like a light heavyweight, sorry, main event is you could have all these people go through UFC 300, all these good fights to get to a light heavyweight bout that could end in like 10 seconds.
Right.
Um, uh,
Very real, very honest statement there.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
that's what we do here.
like,
Like, gosh, how do you want to do this one? Do you want me to go?
well, let's start kind of here, right? So the reception of this fight was not great immediately when they announced that this was the headliner. It kind of seems like I don't want to say a last pick because this is like it's still a belt. It's still two guys or at least one guy that people are saying talking about in the social media world or the sports entertainment world. They're talking about Alex Pereira because he's exciting and he's dog up against Jamal Hill, who is not like a terrible fighter, but is not exactly a pole. You know, um, he did have like one of my favorite clips from UFC is Jamal Hill, where it was in the fight against Glover, and he had the water poured on his head in between rounds. There was just blood all down his face.
Mhm.
You seen that clip?
I haven't seen the clip, but I watched the fight twice today.
Okay.
So I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Look, like I'll be honest, and I'll be happy to eat my words here. Could this be a great fight? Yes. I don't think it was Dana White's first decision.
I'm thinking the same thing, man.
Like I don't think many people are sitting around, and I think that's why when UFC 300 got announced, a lot of people were like, "What the hell?" You know what I mean? Like a lot of people were very underwhelmed. Again, as we've gone through this, the matchmaking is what's making this card. I think when because we sit down and do this for every pay per view event, like I'm looking at the matchups. I'm like, these are some great matchups. I I think this was just like what was available, and I don't like, you know what I mean. I don't
I
see
know
that.
what you mean.
I don't see the heavy marketing here, main event wise. Again, like this fight could be over really fast. This fight could be over in a round, and then everyone's gonna be like, okay, well, so and so has the belt now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Brock Lesnar is going to come out of retirement for an extra fight that they're adding on last minute.
yeah,
That's
right.
my bold prediction. Brock Lesnar comes back.
That's your that's your bold prediction. Oh my gosh.
His music plays.
Yeah, dude. Frick, man. I just don't. I don't know where to go with this. I mean, the Jamal Hill is one of them funky fighters where he looks like he doesn't belong, but he does. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like he looks like a street fighter that just like lands everything. You know what I mean?
That's a very good way to put it, for sure. He's definitely got that kind of like stand and bang, you know?
Yeah. He drops his hands a lot. He kind of comes in with his head leaned back, throws a couple, hops back, hits out of range. Like kind of just like when you see two people get in a street fight and they agreed on it. You know what I mean? Like, um, I he's dangerous. He can bang. Um,
Yeah, he can bang. He has
I
6 kids, according to Wikipedia.
well,
Um,
he can definitely bang. Um, I mean, if you look at like if you look at Potan versus Jamal Hill's like stats, okay, Potan has won 88% KOs. Jamal Hill has won 64%. Those are both really high percentages.
yeah.
Uh, Potan has won 13% by decision. Jamal Hill is 36% by decision. Neither one of them has gotten a sub. Um, it says that Jamal Hill lands a little bit more strikes per minute, but Pereira has more significant strikes per fight. Um, I mean, they're relatively even. Somehow, Alex Pereira has 100% takedown accuracy and 70% takedown defense against 73% takedown defense. Now, where I start thinking it gets lopsided here to me is Jamal Hill kind of got handed the belt, right? Like the belt was kind of
Right.
vacated, and it's like, well, you guys are here, fight for it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it kind of fell to him. Like sometimes, and this is how I think of it. Not to say that these guys aren't like top tier, top notch, and I'd be happy to eat my words, but like, there's a difference between someone who like climbed the rankings and fought like the best of the best the whole way up, and then beat the champ, and someone who just was like sitting in the right spot at the right time and the belt came to him. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, hey, this guy's hurt and this guy doesn't have the belt anymore, so this fight's going to be for the belt. And I don't know. I just look at his resume and he's fought like Jamal Hill hasn't fought like who Pereira has fought, in my opinion. Like I think Izzy is one of the best strikers pound for pound in the whole world. And
Right.
Pereira has shown that, although I think, and this is controversial as well, but I think Izzy has better hands and does better. I mean, every fight with Potan and Izzy has won like the whole fight and gotten caught. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It wasn't like Pereira like was manhandling Izzy. Like the very first UFC fight, Izzy was winning that whole fight and then lost in like the last like few minutes of the whole 5 round fight. Even their kickboxing matches was like that.
Hmm.
But that still like shows that like Pereira has like experience with some of the best striking in the world and can hang. You know what I mean?
100%.
And
And
that's where I feel like it starts getting lopsided because like I mean, yeah, Jamal Hill beat Johnny Walker, who's as of right now just kind of chilling in the area that he's at. You know what I mean? He hasn't
right.
Johnny Walker looked like he was going to be like flying through the ranks and knocking everyone out, and he's been kind of like a little bit fumbly. Um, Santos, I mean Tiago Santos and Jamal Hill beat Glover, which Glover's good, and they went through a 5 round fight. I mean, he won by decision, which that's probably the most tested Jamal Hill has been. But where it interests me as well is Glover is freaking Potan's boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Glover just fought Jamal Hill and has plenty of intel on him for 5 rounds. You know, um, Crew, like Jimmy Crew. I mean, he's fought some like decent guys, but if you look at who Alex Pereira had to fight, I mean, shit, Alex Pereira's fought some scary dudes. You know what I mean? Prohaska,
Very much so.
Don, Izzy, Sean Strickland. Like, I mean, just I just feel like I just kind of feel like it's lopsided to me. I feel like in my head it's kind of like now I feel like Potan is the clear like pick here, but for some reason Jamal Hill's that dude that just I don't know.
He finds the way. That's what it is.
Yeah, like
You said it earlier with I can't remember who you were talking about. Someone just finding a way. Oh,
uh,
Aljamain just finding the way, right?
yeah,
So Jamal Hill's in that same boat. He's just one of those guys. That's like and maybe I don't know what camp he fights out of. Maybe he's got a great camp and just studies and studies and studies and studies and figures out how to play. I mean, Alex Pereira has so much tape on him too. That's the thing. So they can watch and they can figure out exactly what he's going to do. But the problem is, like, it doesn't matter. Like, what is it? I think even everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
right.
And
With the same reach.
exactly. And so this is exciting. I'm gonna have to say that Pereira takes it. Just pure power. I think power beats tech sometimes. And Pereira is not like Pereira is not a technical striker. You can see that he is. He's extremely measured. He knows how to play the chess game. But he also knows how to just put someone to sleep with his hands.
He does, and so does Jamal Hill. I mean, that's where it gets like where I see Jamal Hill having a chance. I will say, is I feel like Jamal Hill throws like a really good 1-2 straight down the pipe,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like a lot of times Pereira will get caught straight down the pipe because he's looking for those hooks and body
Right.
shots.
Because he comes from that glory setup where they're really close quarters kickboxing.
Yeah. So he hunts like he likes to do like the little body shot
Mm-hmm.
way in or out, which leaves your face open for the 1-2, and that's where it kind of scares me. Is like Jamal Hill has a really good like right straight, um, and I think that could starch him for sure. And I also feel like Jamal Hill has a good enough kick to where he could catch him with a kick.
True.
Um, but it's just hard because like kind of going back to Oliveira, man. I mean, Potan has been in some fights where it looks like like against Jan. Then if I remember correctly, it looked like Jan was gonna win that fight for a little bit, and then Pereira just started coming back.
Yeah, he got a split decision win.
Yeah, and like you know, Pereira's been in a lot of fights where like it looks like he's losing. I mean, against Izzy, um, I almost want to say, and I might not be remembering correctly, but I want to say Yuri Prohaska looked pretty good in the beginning, and I just think that like he's durable and he's always dangerous, just like Oliveira. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But
Just in a different way. I get it.
in this case, I just see Pereira winning,
So do I. That's where I had it too, man.
and
I think power is gonna beat tech here. I think we're gonna see that win happen.
I'm going bold prediction. Another one.
Ooh, another one.
Pereira wins and then moves up to heavyweight.
Pereira wins and moves up to heavyweight. Calls out John Jones.
That would be fucking hilarious.
That's
That'd be.
crazy.
Could you imagine that, dude?
I think I could imagine it if John Jones wasn't again in the headlines for some more despicable bullshit. So,
I guess no one can beat him. He's got to beat himself.
yep. There's only one person who can test me.
That freaking guy. Man, what a great card, dude. And I'm
Great
glad
card.
a little bit of controversy. It looks like we came back to each other at the end. The
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
the whole main card, we have the same exact picks.
Yes, we do. We had some convergence, some splits in the prelims, but I think that's maybe the intent of that is like, oh, these are fights that can really go either way, kind of up the middle there.
Right.
Some of the early prelims and the main prelims,
So
and then go to the main card. You see, like, oh, I can see where this goes.
So we should be all settled up by the time Calvin Kattar and Aljamain Sterling fight. We'll know who made the better calls.
Yeah, that's true.
But shit, man, like I appreciate you doing it. I hope
course.
I hope your cramming pays off.
It did. It got me excited for this.
we'll see the the winner, the overthinker or the crammer, the last minute thinker. Um, and I just want anyone listening to let us know if there's any fights that you think are different or the same, or if you've got any kind of input on any of these fights, anything that you heard that you think Jackson got completely wrong. Obviously not me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Tell us if we're brain dead, please.
Yeah, chances are like Jackson did get something wrong, guys. So.
Oh, okay, all right, buddy. Okay.
Okay, buddy. No,
Thanks for having me as always, Kevin. I appreciate it, man. This is
two
good.
cards ago, I got like everything wrong.
I know, right? We're just 0 for 20 on this one.
Yeah, but hey, you win some, you lose some. Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for coming on,
Yeah, man.
and I'll see you on the mats whenever you get your ass
See
in
you on
there.
the mats. Probably Tuesday, man. See you later.
Let's go.
I think the podcast is fucking sick. If you're listening to it and you're like, I don't know if I want to listen to the next episode of this podcast, you're probably a bitch ass. You need to listen to the next episode of this podcast and keep listening to it. Because my friends down here are trying to make shit happen. And we're going to make some shit happen.